Hi, it's Kristen and this is my May to August book haul. It's a smaller one this time. I have 4 physical books and 2 ebooks, which is better than the amount of books I had been bringing in. So yeah, all these books I got in either May, June, July or August. In fact, I think just May, June, July. I don't think any of these came from August, but to split the year into 3 book hauls, we're doing those months. So first of all, we have a book that my dad bought me. Went shopping around my birthday and he picked up a book that was in like a buy one get one half price, and he had some like money on a gift card, and so he very kindly said I could pick out a book and he would buy it for me. So I picked up Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. I'd heard of this one, but I'd never actually seen it like when I was out and about, and so I finally saw it and I was like, ooh, heard good things. So this is about a serial killer, I believe. We have a woman in a sorority who wakes up and finds that some of her sorority sisters have been killed, and then we have another woman elsewhere whose friend has gone missing, and when she finds out about these killings she thinks it's the same guy who did it, this serial killer who's been like popping up in the papers. So she, I think, goes and tries to find Pamela, or she at least travels to that area and wants to know what's gone on. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I've heard it's really good. I think this will be a good thriller and yeah, excited to read it. Next we have X's and O's by Amy Lear. This one my sister's friend gave to my sister because she was getting rid of it, and then my sister thought about it and realised she didn't really want to read it. She doesn't read a ton of romance, she doesn't read a ton of straight romance, and so she asked if I wanted it, and I have been like really making my way through my romances recently and I'm running out, and I always want like a cute quick romance to fall back on as like a palette cleanser between heavier books, and so I said I'd take this. So we have Tara and Trevor. Tara has had her heart broken 10 times by 10 different men. Nevertheless, she is still determined to find her perfect match. The only problem, she is a romance novel obsessive and her standards are sky high. Modern dating apps have killed the meet cute, so Tara decides to revisit her exes in the hope of finding her own trope-worthy second chance romance. And every heroine needs a sidekick, so she enlists her new flatmate, firefighter Trevor. He is the first to rush into a burning building, but the last to rush into a relationship. Love just isn't his thing, but the more time they spend together, the more Trevor appreciates Tara's authentic, dramatic self. Can they break the habits of a lifetime and give their spark a chance? This just sounds, like I said, it will be fun and quick and cute, and that's what I want from a romance every now and then. So, took that one. Then I found these next 2 in a charity shop. It was a really good find. I'd not been in charity shops for a while because I was trying to not buy so many books. And charity shops last year and earlier this year were very much my downfall in how much I bought. But I thought, I've not bought a book in a while. I will go into a charity shop, and I saw 2 books that I've had on my TBR like wish list for a while, and they were both 99p, so I was like, I'm getting them. So first up we have Medusa by Jessie Burton. This is just a Greek mythology retelling around the character of Medusa and like repositioning the myth around her, and it was very short and I've been really enjoying my Greek myth retellings in the past couple of years, so I thought I'd pick this up. And then we have Outlawed by Anna North. I'd heard of this one a little while ago and then sort of kept forgetting about it every time I have bought books, but it's always stayed in the back of my mind, and I saw it and I was like, now is the time to get it. This is about a woman named Ada who becomes an outlaw when the town she lives in start hanging women who can't have children as if they're witches. And so Ada, who can't have children, leaves, and she comes across this group called the Hole in the Wall Gang, a band of outlaws planning to create a haven for women outcast from society. And that premise is like all I need to know about it. That sounds so interesting to me. It's giving like Wild West vibes, which I'm always here for, and it just sounded really interesting and I was excited to read it. So I'm so glad I saw it in the charity shop, because it's not one that I ever would have thought I would have come across just randomly. So really happy to have that. Next we have a couple of ebooks. So we have How to Survive Your Murder by Danielle Valentine. This is a young adult thriller mystery about a girl and her sister who go to this like cornfield maze Halloween party, and her sister is killed, and so our main character has to like deal with this, and she's going to like the court case, and she saw like the tail end of what happened, so she's going to testify. And when she gets to the courthouse before the hearing, she gets knocked out, and when she wakes up she is back on the night that her sister died. That just sounded really interesting to me. I love a young adult thriller. If I'm going to read any young adult, it's going to be a young adult thriller. I just thought that sounded fun, and it was. I read it. It was a good time. Not the best book, but was a fun time. And then lastly, we have Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. This is a young adult romance, which is a bit of a gamble for me because I don't tend to read young adult romances anymore. Or they're very like hit and miss for me. But this one I was intrigued by because it has that Dungeons and Dragons element to it. So we have our main character who is like really interested in like singing and musical theatre, and so she's like gonna do, I think, the spring musical, and is very into helping that become a success, and she ends up borrowing her mum's car for something to do with the musical without asking her mum, and she gets grounded. And part of her punishment is that she has to work at her dad's game shop. And she really doesn't want to do this. It's taking up her time that she could be spent doing stuff for the musical. And so she gets this like nerdy gamer guy to cover her shifts. And in return, she will like flirt with him and like big him up to this girl that he has a crush on. But she doesn't realize that in order to do that, it means joining his Dungeons and Dragons group. So that was the selling point for me. The Dungeons and Dragons is the selling point for me. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons. I've talked in a couple of videos about liking Dungeons and Dragons, but obviously not a ton because it doesn't come up a ton. But I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love watching it. I'm a big fan of Critical Role, and I love playing it. I really really enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. I made my friends and my sister start playing it with me. That does mean that I am the DM, the GM, the DM, the game master, and I've yet to actually play it as a player. I'm hoping one day that will happen for me. Hoping my sister or one of my friends will decide to DM a game so I can play it as a player, because I'd love to do that. But yes, so I really love Dungeons and Dragons. So when I heard that there was like a romance that had a Dungeons and Dragons element, I was very much into that. Decided to get it, then realised it was young adult. I thought it was adult. It's not, it's young adult, which has me hesitating. However, I think it'll be fun and cute and quick regardless. I'm sort of not anticipating loving it, so if it's like decent, that's a win. So yes, 2 young adult books on my Kindle, and then 4 very different very different books. I feel like this really showcases like a wide range of what I read. Like thrillers centered around women, fun cheesy rom-com, Greek mythology retelling, and then like feminist literary fiction. I'm excited about all these books for various different reasons. I just really looking forward to reading them all. I think they'll all be quick reads because these 2 are like fairly short, and then these 2 I think I can read quickly because like if I'm really into a rom-com I can read that quickly, and if I'm really into a thriller I can read that quickly. So very excited to get to all of these. They may appear in a reading vlog at some point, probably not all together, but various reading vlogs. Have you read any of these? Would you like recommend a certain time of the year to read them? Like I tend to read like thrillery kind of stuff in the autumn time, and like rom-coms maybe in the summer. That's past now. But yeah, have you read them? What did you think? Do you think there's like one of these in particular that I will like? If you watch my channel, you know the kinds of things I read and enjoy. What do you think will be my favourite out of the ones I have? And thank you for watching. There'll be another book haul at the end of the year, which will be my September, October, November, December gets. I mean, this is pretty good. This is like 2 Kindle books that I got on days when they were on offer, so they were only like £1 each, I think. Then a book that was gifted to me by my dad, a book that was given to me by my sister by her friend, and then 2 charity shop books. So in terms of like spending, this is like my most bargain book haul ever, other than the one I did a few years ago where I just got books from the library. But this, yeah, I did well spending wise in these past few months. Saved a bit of money compared to previous months. But yes, that is everything for this book haul, and I will see you soon with another video that's not a book haul. Bye!